So we are now going to attempt the second part of this class, which is to create a visual effects sequence. We will use the software After Effects for it. So if you go to the section on my website, dileepsweb.weebly.com, if you go to anim and visual effects, you'll see that I have descriptions about the cluster on top, and then I have an example of the assignment we did last week. I have the steps for it. I have my own sample there. Plus, I have these videos here. Now, if you go further, you'll find some examples of students. And further down is what we are going to do today, visual effects cluster. So you can see what's going to happen today is we are going to create a visual effects sequence that looks something like this. Now see what is happening is this shark is coming in front of the text, it is going through the text and it explores the text. So I've managed to put the text behind one of the sharks using masking, and I've put some effects here, the explosion as well as the ripple. So these are some of my other videos, but anyway, you can get some of the shark videos here in this link. So I have some text files as well if you want to use my text, although I am going to show you how to create the text. So these are PSD files. You want them, just right click and save link as, and you can see this is a very big file. You can choose one of the files depending on your download speed. Okay, let me show you Photoshop first. So I'll quickly show you how I created the text. Some of you are unfamiliar with Photoshop. Let me just see if I can make the settings white here. Interface. Yeah, I'll just make it brighter so it records better. So the way I created it, and this is a newer version, but it will work in all versions. If you go to File, New, and we'll create a video of 800 by 600. So I'll choose 800 by 600. Screen resolution is 72. And click on OK. Now you can see by default, because of my settings background white, see this here, I've got a white background. I'm going to make a new layer, although if I click on text and press here, it will make a new layer. You can see this on the right hand side, new layer. So I type something like danger, okay. I click on the move tool, bring it in the middle. I can click on the text tool and change the size of it. If I want it even bigger, I can go back to the move tool and press Control T. And what Control T does is that it allows me to scale it. And you can see it snaps in the middle. That means I'm in the middle. Once I have this, I can go to Effects and give it a stroke. What the stroke does is it gives it an outline. I'll make a 4-pixel outline. I'll make it outside. I'll give it a nice grayish outline, a bit bright outline. I can also give it a drop shadow. So if I come to drop shadow, there's a shadow here. If I click and drag, you can see there's a shadow. And I can sort of adjust these parameters, distance, spread, size and smoothness, and so on. That's good enough. And I'm going to delete the background. So for your graphics, you will need to show text passing through an object. Save your text. You can save it as a PSD, the default Photoshop version. Save as, you can see the Photoshop file, danger.psd. I won't save it because these files are available to you, but make your own text by all means. Make your assignment pretty unique. If you're feeling lazy, just use the files I've given you. Okay, with that, my website has got an entire section on Photoshop. So I'm not going to teach you much about Photoshop. If you wish, you can go to IDM and Screen and go to Visual Design Photoshop. I've got several exercises on Photoshop. It's a class I do over a semester with 2 weeks per task. I also have some tasks in Illustrator. So if you feel like learning more about Photoshop and Illustrator, yeah, by all means, go and have a look at these other sections. But for now, let's get back. So we've got a Photoshop file, and I already have it, so I'm not going to save it. And then what I do is I'm going to go into After Effects, Adobe After Effects. Now this is something you have on your machines. So open After Effects. I will do the, I'll create the special effect. I'll do the task and I'll try to introduce you to After Effects as I go on. So now when I start After Effects, I want a new composition. I'm composing video, text, effects. I'm composing it together. So I want a new composition. I'll give it a name. I'll just call it Sharky Shark. Or what kind of a preset I want? What's the width and height I want? Really, I'm just looking for something ordinary, which is not very big in size, so that I can collect the assignments from you. Happy to take something which is 720 by 576. A high definition 720 is okay. Web video is okay, but that'll be too small. So we'll probably just go PAL D1 dB square pixel. Okay, just go for it. Will give me 720 576. So yep, 788 576 because it's a square pixel. That should be fine. So just select something which is around the 700 or less than 800 by 600. So that's good. It wants to know the frame rate. PAL is 25. It's picked everything. Now the duration. I think the video clip is not that long, but we can change the duration later on. So we'll leave it at 30 seconds for now. Okay. I might make it 20. And just say okay. So there, I've got a 20-second clip. Right. Now I need to import the stuff that I need for my effects. This window is a bit small. It is showing me at 12%. I'll say fit up to 100%. So maybe I can pull this down, and that's about 70-80%. That's cool. So if I go to the project and the effect controls, very similar to Adobe Premiere Pro, but let's go to project. This is the composition I've just selected. I can edit it. I can go here and probably rename it and do stuff like that. I can go to composition, change the composition settings, add more seconds if I want, change the background color if I want. Anyway, let me import. I right click here and I import multiple files. So I'm going to go into my project file folder. It's on the desktop, IDM Visual Effects. I clicked something wrong. IDM Visual Effects. I'll just click Solo Shark Swim. Now Solo Shark Swim, I've imported it. I need to import two text files. I'm going to import danger lurks under. So I'll just put danger lurks. And I think that's enough. So I've got danger lurks. I don't want this one. I just want the video, and I want this danger and lurks. So let's arrange this. So this is my timeline. Just like in Flash you have a timeline, in After Effects too you have a timeline. So I put the video here on my timeline. You can see this tiny arrow here. I'm going to open the arrow. What happens? The video fits to whatever resolution you have. It just fits into this window you have, into your height and width. I open this arrow here. I open transform, and I've got scale. See scale? I'm just going to scale it up to remove that TCR. Yeah. And there, my video is actually only, my video is pretty small. That's okay, I'll get another video. So I'll get two videos. I think I used the other one. I'll get 6 and 7. So I've got number 6 here, and I've got number 7 here. So this other video I'll put somewhere here. So you can see from this video I cut to this video. Now this second video here also I need to scale up, just so that I can get rid of this timeline. The video is a large video, it's a high definition video, so scaling it won't be much of a problem, and that's enough. That's about 7 seconds. So I'm just going to go to composition settings, and make my setting into a 7 second. Really what you need to show me is that you can arrange media in layers and you can apply special effects to it. So let's do that. So we have these two clips here. Now I'm going to drop this danger text, it's a PSD file, on top. So here I have danger on top. Okay, cool, very good. Now I'm going to animate this. To animate this in After Effects, let me first just scale it down. Now anything that needs to be animated, you see these clocks here? These clocks represent time, which means you want to change the parameter of position and scale over time. So click on this tiny clock here. Once you click here, it means it's ready to animate. Once you click on scale, it will be ready to animate. So now let's move this. You see this? I'm just pressing the shift key and moving it out here. And in about 1.5 seconds, 1 second, I'll move it in. So I just come back and I drag it and drop it in. So because I have clicked the clock, I've got two keyframes here. See this? See this here? Now I want to give the scale a keyframe here. If I click on this, it adds a keyframe. In Flash, you used F6 to create a keyframe. Here, this one adds a keyframe and deletes a keyframe. So scale has got a keyframe. Somewhere here, I want scale to go up. Cool. I want the position here. At this point, I want the position to be a bit on this side. So my scale actually works better. Yeah, that looks okay. So there, I've got text. Now, here's the magic bit. I want the text to go through the shark, come from behind the shark and go through the shark. Now, how do I achieve this? Try to understand this. To achieve this, I'm going to make a copy of this fellow. This shark here, I'm going to make a copy of it. Control C, Control V, see, gives a copy. And I drop one copy on top. So there's a shark, topmost layer. Then below is the danger layer. Then there's another shark layer. Cool? Now see what I'm doing. On the topmost layer, I take the pen tool from up here. See this pen tool? Your pen tool might be somewhere else. I take the pen tool and I start making a mask. Click, click, click and drag makes a curve. Click, click. And I'm not even being too accurate. I'm just sort of being all right. I'm not even being too accurate. See that? It's masked. See what happens is, try to understand here why that mask has made the danger go behind. Because there's a mask around this shark, that's the only part that is seen. Now below that is danger and below that is the video again. So it looks like the water is below and the danger text has gone between the shark and the water. See that? Now the thing is I have to move the mask, see? I have to move my mask. Now this is where the real trick is. From here onwards I have to move the mask. How do I do that? So in the topmost layer, I open mask. When I use the pen tool, automatically a mask was created and here is the mask. Okay? So when I click here, you can see the mask is seen. And the mask path is what I want to animate. So this was the mask, right? So come to mask path, click on the time, and you can see I've got a blue keyframe. I want to animate frame by frame. Now this is where the painful part is. If you press Control and the left arrow key on the keyboard, you will go to the previous frame. I'll go again. And you can see there's a bit of movement. I'll go again. That's okay. Yeah, somewhere there. If I drag if I drag a point, it will work. And if I just go one more, you have to be very careful. See, when nothing is selected, just hover and then drag a point. If you click this, it will select everything, but first deselect and then just take one point, keep it pressed for a while, and you'll get it. I'm doing control and left arrow key. Get that? Control left arrow key. Control left arrow key. Control left arrow key. And I'm trying to sort of get this. I'm just trying to get the mask proper. Control left arrow key. I'm clicking the points and just making it cover the shark. Now these are okay. See this is all right. Here it should be somewhere here. I'm not doing it every frame, wherever I need to, because the shark is sometimes just sitting there, and even if it's moving, it's not moving badly enough that I need to change it. So now I have danger going behind the shark, and now it is scaling up, right? And I'll keep doing it here. So again, I'm going control and arrow key, frame by frame. And really, this part doesn't matter, just the part where the text is, that's the part that really matters. Okay, this video has become 18 minutes long, so I'm going to try and finish this off here because I need to show you the other stuff. But basically here, you can see what has happened so far. Danger seems to have gone behind the shark and now it's coming in front, okay? Now, as it comes in front, you see the mask opacity? I'm going to give the opacity a keyframe. Mask opacity is 100 here. And at this point, mask opacity is 0. So in just a few frames, see that? The text has come through. So I have animated mask opacity. I clicked on the clock. It's 100 here. I came here and I moved that to 0 and it became 0. So now if I don't select my layer, I'll just move the cursor and see that. The text goes behind and it comes in front. Magic, absolute magic. I need to show you one more thing. I need to give it an effect. There are two effects. So now this text here, I'll show you both the effects and you can put two effects, one effect. Effect, I'm going to show you how to add effects. So under simulation, let me first show you shatter because shatter is easier. So I apply shatter. Oh, okay. Is that shatter? It will shatter the text. I will delete this for now. I had something else in mind. Effect, simulation, try scatterize. I'll try scatterize. So you see when I select the layer Danger PSD and I go to Effect, Simulation, Scatterize, I get under Effect Controls, I get this scatter. See this? So pretty much from this point, from here, I want to animate the scatter. So see this scatter here? I'm going to click on the clock. Click on the clock. Scatter is 0. And at this point, scatter is 128. And I can give it a bit of twist if I want. So I can click here, give it a bit of a twist here, and the point when it started scattering, I can change the twist to 0 if you want. So it also scatters and twists around. Now it stays there. That's bad. So what I want to do is danger.psd has got opacity. So once it has scattered, I'm going to click on opacity. I want a keyframe, and just after a few seconds, I'm going to scale it down. So just a few 3 seconds video this is, and this is what happens. Danger goes in, scatters, and then the next shot comes. Cool. And you can do the same thing. What I had applied was Mr. Mercury. Let me show that to you. Probably another 5 minutes of video. Let me drag Lux on top, and now this video here, you can see this. I'm clicking on the starting point and dragging it so that it appears somewhere here. So Danger Lux, and I'm just going to play with the opacity. So opacity at this point is 0. I've clicked on the clock, 0. After about 1 second or 2 seconds, opacity is 100. Now I'm going to add another effect, simulation. Yeah, Mr. Mercury is what I used, Mr. Mercury. And you can see what happens with Mr. Mercury. You see that? You can see that with Mr. Mercury. So I have Mr. Mercury here. Now Mr. Mercury, I'm going to give it some parameters. I'm going to animate radius, and I'm going to animate birth size and death size. So somewhere at this point, I'm going to make the radius 0 and birth size, I just make the birth size a bit high. Yeah, just make the birth size high. So what happens is it will look something like, see that the Lux, it appears as if it's appearing from underwater. Okay, so I've shown you masking, I've shown you how to move text through an object, or at least make it appear to do so, and I've shown you some effects. So basically, if you can demonstrate that you can use this timeline in After Effects to create effects, animate effects, and apply masks and layers, then this assignment will be over. So that's, I think I'll wrap under 25 minutes. So I hope you find this useful. Thanks, guys.